Working today on practicing Python with strings. The book I'm referring to is Python for Everybody. I found it online, and there's several courses that actually go through the book with you, some chapters page by page, but I really didn't have time for those courses. So I decided, I'm going to devote an hour a day to practicing Python. Because even if you use Python all the time, sometimes you get stuck in a routine of only using the Python that you use every day. So let's go here. Chapter 6.4, if you're following Python for Everyone, really good book. Now this here is what I would normally put in my code if I was at a terminal, using a terminal, because it tells me, this is going into the user bin, and the environment is Python 3. I'm in Colabs, which is a different setup. It's Google Colabs. And what it does is it allows you to write code. You can load up libraries just like you would load up libraries in any other editor. And it also allows you to run code. So right now we're doing practice string slices. So the string here is a series of letters, for lack of a better word, but it's a series of characters or symbols. And that's your string. And it's in between the quotations. Have to have the quotations, or it doesn't really work as a string. Okay, first thing we're doing is we're assigning a variable to the string. So string is equal to Holy Grail. If you are a Python fan, hopefully you'll get the connection I just made. First, we're going to have a starting point, colon, and ending point. We're going to slice out the first word. And that's what we really want to slice out. And when you're using indexes, 0 takes the position of H. So let's check that out first. The string position 0, what's the letter? H. Okay. String position 1 is letter O. Yeah, you're already catching on. I get the feeling. String position 2, L. String position 4, nothing. Whoa. Okay, so I went too far. String position 3 is Y. So string position 4 is literally nothing. At string position 4, we're actually looking at the position between the lowercase y and the uppercase G. That space is a position in the string because it takes up a space, which sounds a little redundant, but it's true. Spaces in strings are treated just like characters in strings. They're given a position number. So when you are making a string, pay attention to the spaces, because when counting the positions, those spaces are being paid attention to. So we have string 4, position 4. So that was just a review of string positions and how to get them. But right now, I want to do some slicing. And right now, I know that, 0, 1, 2, 3. Let me go to 3, because I know the first index is included. I typed that in to remind me. If you are familiar with Python or not, the hashtag, after the hashtag, these are your comments. These really aren't, they're part of your code in the sense that they tell you what is going on and what's doing. And you can write comments to yourself as a programmer or comments to other programmers. Always good to write your code as if you're not just writing it for yourself. Leave yourself notes. You might want to go back and review, or somebody else might want to see the code and figure out what you're doing. So getting a habit of writing comments, not necessarily excessive comments. Excessive comments here because I'm reviewing and I want to make sure I hit every point. But you want to write comments that tells the other programmers and you, the future you, what's going on. Because you now might know what's going on and say, oh, I understand that. Print, parentheses, string, 0, colon. Okay, they're slicing. And I might remember that the first index is included. Great. And I might even remember what that is. And I'll tell you in a few minutes what that is. But my future me might say, what? I don't remember that. I haven't used it in months and years. So how could I not remember that? So that's why you want to read comments. And always think you're writing code to your future self. All right, enough chat. Run it. Boom. And hitting this play button, which is a familiar thing, run. And it runs the program. And okay, I'm looking here, and my goal was to take holy, but I only got HOL. So I went to position 0, that's H, and then I got position 1, and then I got position 2. At position 3 should be Y, but it's not coming up. So I'm going to drop this here. Don't worry about this part because I'm going to take it out. It's coming back. But I wrote a note here to myself. The index after the colon is not included. Oh. Okay. So the index after the colon is not included. That was a good note because sometimes you don't remember. Don't worry. Code comes back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to 4. Boom. Great. I got holy because the first index is included, but the last index is not included in what's being printed out. So this is where you begin and this is where you end, and it's not included. So let's bring back the other thing I did, and I'll explain this once we bring back the other code. And now I'm into the other code. And I'm going to take that out. Oops. I know. I'm not perfect. But the key part about using this particular editor is you can use some of the key punches on your keyboard that you're familiar with. Like if you're using Apple, you have familiar shortcuts and keys that you're familiar with, like printing and cutting and all those things, and copying. And you can use them while writing code. And for anyone who knows that you write code, sometimes you don't get to use the shortcuts. So let's get to this one. This is reminding me the index after the colon is not included. Okay. So I just want to change that to its original number. So index after colon is not included. Great. So I'm going to see what I got. Boom. I got rail. For a minute there, I thought that I went too far. So I didn't include the G. So at position 6 is R. So if R is at position 6, we're going to go 1 behind R. That's position 5. And if my theory is right, because the first index is included and the index after the colon is not included in your printout, so let's just hit it. Boom. I'm saving right there. In Colabs, you have to save. Whenever you're coding, you have to get used to saving, as most of you know. So this is a quick one. Great. The first index here is 5. The last index is 12. Now again, remember, 12 is not the L, because we're going to find out right now. Boom. Wait, 11's not the L. Well, what? Not 110 more. Okay, boom. 10's not the L. So from this, we're gathering that we went beyond the last parameter. So here could be a lot of spaces that were printed that we just can't see. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to say, is 9 the L? Yes. So position 9 is the L. And if you've counted with me before, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is the space, 5 is a capital G or uppercase G, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what you didn't see was all those spaces it printed that you don't see because they're not there. So even if this last number is more than the string, it's only going to print what's in the string. You're only going to see what's in the string when it prints. And again, the last index after the colon is not included, so we don't have to go to 12. We can go to 10. I hit return. That's why that happened. We can go to 10 and boom, we got it. I only like to go one space beyond. Okay? Because I don't want a chance of running into an error. We saw already we had 12 there and you didn't run into an error. But I'm going to put 10 there because that's more comfortable with me and my practices of knowing it's just one more past it. Now for those people who don't know what this is, I'm going to let you figure out visually. And I hit play. And you notice that the space between Holy and Grail is gone. That's because when you put this in, it's requesting a new line. And to explain it real quick, you put your colons and then you put your backslash. Oh, I love it. Just like if you're writing on a word processing program. Old word. A write program. One of the many programs where you can write letters and books and papers and articles and blogs. When you get one of these things, it's because you misspelled a word or you didn't use it properly in the grammar or you missed some punctuation. Same thing happens on Colabs when you do one of these things. It comes up with these lovely little red lines or these little dots here, and it's all saying, wait, something's missing. Let me explain. So the backslash, without the backslash, let's just put N. Without the backslash, you get Holy Grail, and it prints an N. And it's printing the N just like it would print any other character in the string. It actually just added it to the end. So, comma, added to the end. But we don't want it to add an N to the end of what's already being printed. We want to make a nice space here. So what we have to do is we have to tell the computer or tell how it's being read, dictate how it's being read and say, look, whatever this normally is, we don't want it to be that. We're changing it. We're making it into some sort of command that you're going to understand in your computer brain. And when I press that, it understands it because N here means new line. But you have to have that, was it backslash in there? Because if you don't, again, it's just going to print, I'll do it again, and you can see it, it's just going to print that N at the end. Now, cool, you found a way to add an N, but right now, I just want it to be nice and neat, and I want spaces between what I print so I can clearly see my slices. And what I've sliced so far is I've sliced out the first word from the long string, following it, knowing it has a starting and an ending. I know that the first index is included, and the index after the colon is not. So 0, 1, 2, 3. I went to 4. Boom. And there it is. So I took the next word out. I had to find the first index to be included, and that was for the G, right? And then I said, how did we have that longer one all the way out to 12? And it didn't matter. But for me, in best practices, I only want to go just one beyond the last one. The last index is 9. There we go. I know the first index is included. That's going to be my G. The second index after colon is not included, so I'll go 1 past 9. But again, let me remind you, if you just go to 9, look at that. You lost your L. So let's go back to 10. And I've done a bit of slicing. It's going to be remarkable how much slicing I have just done. I think that's incredibly amazing. That's your start and ending slicing. So there's another kind of slicing, and for this type of slicing, it's if you want to take a portion of it. So you're asking for maybe a number of letters. So you're asking for, how are we going to write this down? You're asking for a number of letters. So, for example, you might want the first three, and I'll put, example, first three letters of the string. Okay, that's going to pop up that little window, don't worry about it. So you have the first three letters of the string. So we're going to get number of letters. I shouldn't say letters, we should say number of characters, because they're not always going to be letters. They might be characters if I write it out. But I wrote out characters, but if I do that, that means characters as well. Okay. And so now we're going to go down here, and we already have our string. So I'm just going to say, let's print. And let's see, I want to print, I want the first three letters of the string. So I'm going to take the first three letters. I'm going to put a colon and a 3. I'm getting all kinds of things. Why am I getting these little marks? What's different from this? It should look like this, right? Okay, caught me. I love it. Not those brackets. Those brackets. And I'm going to put a colon and a 3. Now, why did I put a colon in here? Well, I only want the first three letters. So when you actually put this colon in front, you're actually telling it how many letters you're going to get. And you want the first three, so the colon's in front. Let's try it. Boom. Whoa, type error. Look at that. I love it. Print, number of characters, All right, it says there's a problem here. Why is there a problem here? Because I put print. I didn't give it a variable. So right now, and I love this part, I want to give it a variable. So let's take the print out, and let's give it a variable. I know that my string is Holy Grail. So what if I set, and I'm real simple. I'm just going to say string 2. I'm using camel case. String 2 equals, and then what I'm going to do is string 2 equals string, and then I'm going to put my colon, and then I'm going to put 3. Right? So string 2 equals string 3. What does that mean? That means with the colon in front, if I remember correctly, the colon in front, it should only give me HOL. Right? And we're going to print string 2. And I love this because you can go to string 2, you're done. We're not paying attention to those boxes just yet. Maybe this will work. Okay. Boom. Whoa, look at that. It worked. I print the first 3 strings. Now another way to print the first 3 letters is if I just go here and do that, I will also get the same thing. And if I go start at 0 and end at 3, and I know it goes 0, 1, 2, and 0, 1, 2 is actually 0, 1, 2, I'll get the same thing. All right, but for this one, I just want to print the first 3. String 2 equals string, the first 3. All right, so boom, there's my first 3. Now, if that's how you get the first 3, right? Let me just copy this. Now, number of characters. Yeah. Let me put an S there. Alright, so if that gives me the first three, saving again, if that gives me the first three, what if string, you know what, I'm going to change that from string to, I'm going to change it to string first. Yeah, I like that better. And this is going to be string last. And you're going to see in a minute. Because I'm going to take my string. And that got me the first three letters. Here, I want the last three letters. So, I'm going to put 3 and the colon at the end. And that should print the last three letters. And yeah, I'm cutting and pasting. You want a short video. And I'm changing this string 2 to string last. And remember, I changed this up here, so I have to change this string first. Right? Now, what I should get is I should get the same things I got before, Holy Grail, the first three letters, and the last three letters. Let's see. Whoa, what happened here? Something happened. Last three, I wanted the last three letters. What did it give me? What did it give me? I don't know. So I got Y and Grail. Huh. So what if I go here? I'm not getting the last three. Why am I not getting the last three? Because this is a position. Remember? So this is a position. So if I want the last three letters of this, I know that they go to 10, right? So let me try 7. Boom. There's the last three letters. Because I am taking the letters that come after position 7. Here I'm taking the letters that come before position 3. Right? This is before position 3, and this is after position 7. Because position 7, alright, position 7, we'll just put a print in here. Whoa, not here. Undo quickly. Position 7, if I print string 7, okay, at position 7, boom, A is at position 7. Okay, so at position 7 you have A. And let me take this stuff out so it makes it a lot clearer. Don't worry, it's coming back. It always comes back. So now let's run it. A is at position 7. A. So what I'm saying here is string last. So it's string ask. I'm going to change that from string last to string after. Because what you're really printing is the characters in the string after this designation. Alright, does that make sense? That makes sense to me. Alright, time for everything to come back. And now I'm going to change this to string before. Because what you're printing, is the characters in the string that come before 3. And I don't want to get confused, so this is going away. Don't worry. I love my Command X, and it works very well. Boom. So this is before position 3. Now let me just cut and paste. If you're following along, copy and paste. And I'm going to find out what position 3 is. Boom. All right. Position 3 is Y, because it's asking you to print position 3. That's Y. So now I'm printing everything before position 3. HOL, HOL. And again, this is print string 7. Print what's at position 7. That's an A. And I want to print everything after position 7. AIL. So last 3 letters of the string, first 3 letters of the string, right? Here, you could just find the first 3 letters are always going to be before position 3. But here you had to actually count the end, because we know at the end that there's a total of, I think I just lost my stuff. A total of numbers. Bang, there it goes. Don't worry. A total of 10 positions. There's a total of 10 positions filled, and the 9 positions filled, and the 10th one we know is empty because you printed it, right? So now we know we have the last 3 letters of the string. We have the first 3 letters of the string. We have split the string, so we get the first word, and split the string, so we get the last word. So I think that's enough for now with the slicing. You have to use the colon is important in slicing. Starting, ending is important when you're taking out a chunk. You can even take out a chunk in the middle. And so let me do that right now. Print, and we know our string is string. Let me get all this craziness out of here. Our string is string, and we know we have to put it in between these brackets. And say you want the middle. I like 3 and 7, so I'm going to use the numbers between 3 and 7. I want the positions between 3 and 7. And do I want to give it, let's practice using that. And you have to close the parentheses after you add that in. That's real important. So we're going to save it. And for neatness, I'm going to make a little space there. Save it. And let's see what happens. Boom. I've printed the first word, which is between 0 and 4, holy. I've printed the second word, which is between 5 and 10, grail. And now we've printed what's between position 3, which is included, because at 3, 0, 1, 2, 3 is Y. That is included. First is included. And 7. And at position 7, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is A, and that is not included. So we get the Y, the space, the G, the R, and no A. What we've also printed and been able to slice, if we've found out what's at position 3, that's the Y, and we wanted everything before 3, because we want to print the first 3 letters of the string before 3. Boom. HOL. And we want to print the last 3 letters of the string. Well, we knew 10, so I picked the last 3. AIL. At position 7 is A. AIL. Last 3 letters. AIL. Okay, we've done enough slicing and dicing for now. Thank you, and see you again.